Yeah. It's a full-time job with no benefits. Too many ego, too many fits. Count money with a side of stress.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your boy Still Khalil, back with another video. Today we got Matty Balls talking about the worst interviews in no jumper history. Once again, shout out to all my colleagues, what I call my twins and the friends that's locked in. I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Road to 1K, so like, share, subscribe, join the tribe. Y'all already know what we talking about. So, Adam22 has been in the news a lot lately, and it hasn't been for good reason. This nigga been around doing all kind of things that I wouldn't recommend. You know what I mean? Allowing your woman to get piped on camera for some money, doing interviews with people on some Vlad TV type shit. I don't recommend. Some of this time it seemed like he was legitimately giving up the people that worked for him. Which is also another thing I be telling y'all, do right by y'all employees. But I ain't gonna yap too much, man. I'm gonna let Matty Balls get to it. Shout out to all the colleagues once again. Let's get to it.
Before announcing that they were going broke, No Jumper used to be one of the biggest podcasts in hip-hop, with tons of interviews with some of the biggest artists in the last decade. But these interviews don't always go well. From heated arguments, to fights and people getting kicked out, to even somebody pulling a knife, these are some of the most intense moments in No Jumper history. First, one thing that's important to note is that No Jumper's been in a bit of a downward spiral for a while, and one thing they've tried to do to get more attention in this spiral was just highlighting controversies. I mean, they even post the most heated moments compilations because they know that focusing on that gets more views these days on their platform rather than high quality interviews. And I've already covered how No Jumper's downfall began and all of that, so feel free to check that out after if you're interested. But aside from that, let's get into some of the biggest beefs on the platform. Lately, I've had a few comments pointing out that I've been getting a little bit chubby, and hey, you're not that wrong. I've been slacking a little bit lately. But I figured since it's summer, you know, it's time to get back in shape, get back on track. And one thing that's been helping me do that is Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is a brand that makes cereals and treats, both of which are high in protein and have no sugar. The cereal has 13 to 14 grams of protein and no sugar, and the treats have 11 to 12 grams of protein with 1 gram of sugar. Both have very few carbs, and they are both great snacks. Even before the sponsor, I've been eating the Magic Spoon treats, especially before the gym, because it's like a
I ain't gonna say too much, but I don't think you need to be eating them all the time, especially before the gym and all that like that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's your prerogative. It's your preference. You might want to be the way you are, and that's great. I love to see people be who they are. But if you're not trying to continue this path, Magic Spoon might be that might be the reason, man.
Light, high protein snack that gets me fueled up for a workout. Both the cereal and the treats taste great and are the perfect alternative to sugar-filled, low-protein snacks that we generally eat. I don't eat a lot of cereal, so one little experiment I've conducted is putting some of the cereal in my yogurt or oatmeal to add some flavor, a little crunch, and some protein. So if you're trying to eat a little bit better but still have some...
No cap, Magic Spoon is delicious as fuck though. I tried one of those shits, the little berry one. It was all right. You know, I wouldn't recommend getting it all the time. It is expensive as fuck for me. I'm still a broke boy. You know what I mean? So, if you like me, you ain't got it like that. I wouldn't recommend trying to get hooked on Magic Spoon because, I have some Magic Spoon money. You know what I mean?
Tasty snacks. Make sure to use my code MattyBalls or click the link in the description so that you can try some Magic Spoon cereal or treats and get $5 off. You can also find Magic Spoon on Amazon or at your nearest grocery store. They're so confident in their product that they have a 100% happiness guarantee online, so if you don't like it for some reason, they will refund your money 100%, no questions asked. So make sure to click the link in the description to go to magicspoon.com/MattyBalls or scan the QR code that's on screen here or here somewhere, I don't know, and then you can get your $5 off. Anyways, let's continue with the video. Lil Kelpie is a nerdy lolcow sort of character that appeared on No Jumper a few times and got himself into quite a bit of trouble with the hosts. And this is why. It starts with a guy named Sharp who appeared on the channel Softweight Underbelly, a channel that just interviews all sorts of interesting people. And the reason that Sharp was interesting was because he's a pimp. This interview went viral and got nearly 7 million views. So because of that, Adam decided to interview Sharp.
That's the nigga that'll be like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's when I'll be doing that. That's what I'll be doing. So y'all be like, he not up on nothing. Y'all not up on nothing. Nigga, what the fuck I'm talking about, man?
On his platform. And in this episode, they discussed possibly working together.
Today, I'm in here with one of the most requested guests in recent memory, We got Sharp.
I love you, Adam. You're a good dude,
I love
man.
you too,
I like
bro.
being
Appreciate
here,
it.
man. This shit is, hey,
Hey.
it's cool. Listen to me, man. Before we go, I just want you to know, man, I appreciate you for opening your platform to me.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't have to, but you did. It's love. I'm open mind to you. And I hope we got more endeavors in the future.
We should talk.
We should.
On another podcast, Adam explained that Sharp's popularity caused there to be a lot of wannabes, which is funny because that's exactly what would happen with Lil Kelpie. Kelpie showed up on Soft White Underbelly, and off rip, everyone was clowning on him. He was claiming to be a pimp, he was dressed up all goofy, and nobody believed his story.
And being Caucasian, I think you're the first white pimp I've interviewed.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of people always told me like, oh bro, you're pimping all this. I pride myself in being a very intelligent person, pretty street smart and book smart. So I kind of use that to my abilities when it comes to this game and other ones I may have dabbled in before.
Regardless, he was invited on No Jumper following his appearance on Soft White Underbelly, and he was on a podcast with Sharp, where Sharp confronted him for being a fake pimp.
And today, we got what? Lil Kelpie?
Yeah,
Lil
Lil
Kelpie.
Kelpie.
You know we gonna get on all that. Hey, church, do me a favor and take that jacket off.
The hood?
You gotta take that jacket off, bro.
No, I don't
You
wanna
got
show
to
my
take that off.
tats.
No, so what? Take that shit off, homie. That's a
feeling
fraud, though. But
comfortable
you're
in
not
this.
gonna wear
No,
that.
it's rabbit. It's
Bro,
not
if
fraud.
you want to do this, no, I'm not talking about that. But you gotta take that off, though, bro.
Then Sharp continued to scream at Kelpie for how he's a fake and he wasn't really doing anything. And Kelpie even slipped up and said that his mom scheduled his braces appointment because she has insurance, which that's never gonna go over well in a battle of who's more tough and who's more street.
Dirtbags.
Help them and myself all at the same time.
You ain't help shit.
How you
You
helping
ain't help
bitches?
shit.
Come on, man.
If I'm helping them,
You're
I'm
fake
helping
as
them.
Leave
Church?
them on meth and
Y'all a
fentanyl.
hater. Y'all a
Hell.
hater.
Unpopular opinion, but why does it matter? I know he might be fake, but why is it another grown man's responsibility to check this nigga on being fake? Like, why do you have to be yelling to the top of your lungs about how this nigga need to take his jacket off because he don't belong in the gang or whatever? Like, shouldn't that not, like, I don't know why that would concern you so much. Like for me, I'm part of something, but it's a lot of motherfuckers that be out here talking about they the same thing, but they not. And they be doing it all wrong and repping it all wrong and shit, but I don't be out here yelling at them and all that shit. I just let them be because clearly they not real. Because when you see us, you see the difference. You know what I'm saying? This type shit, you know what I mean?
Yo, who took care of them braces in your mouth?
Fucking sweater off.
Me.
Huh?
My mom scheduled the appointment.
Your
I put
mom
down the
did it. You
bracelet.
even told me
My
they
mom
paid
had
for it.
insurance.
You
My
got
mom
good
had
insurance, Orange County.
Eventually, Kelpie admitted to learning about pimping from Sharp on YouTube and was pretty much exposed as a fraud. And then they almost got into a fight. So following that, Kelpie was just kicked off of the show. All the comments were just making fun of him, saying things like he walked in and instantly became a verbal punching bag. 3 criminals arguing on who the best criminal is. And as you guys can see, No Jumper was really profiting and going viral off of just like straight up stupid controversies, making fun of everyone in the videos. No one really like cared about the actual content anymore. It was more so just like one of those crappy reality TV shows you turn on at the hotel. Regardless, likely due to the success of the last episode, Kelpie was invited on again. This time he was featured with Adam22 and a guy named Almighty Suspect. Almighty Suspect is the son of the prominent LA rapper Rifleman, and he's had a little bit of success as a rapper himself. Probably his most notable collabs are with the likes of Blueface and Babytron. Suspect had appeared on the pod a few times and was invited to this episode to co-host with Adam. And when they did another Kelpie interview together, that's when things got really heated.
Pretty excited because we have somebody who's making a big splash on the scene.
Yes, sir.
Kelby is in the
Lil
building.
Kelpie, also known as Kelpie the P. As a matter of fact, you can call me whatever you want, just don't call me broke.
Suspect was mad off rip and was suggesting that Kelpie was damn near blackfacing the way he was dressing and acting and pretending to be a pimp.
And in situations like this, I kind of would say, like, if he was just being himself, like, hey guys, I'm a pimp, like, that'd be great. But like, you like putting on a voice and all that. That's why y'all people be telling me change your voice and do this and that. No, I do that when I act. I'm an actor. I'll do that when you give me a role. Hire me to speak properly, and I will, motherfucker. I'm gonna use my real voice because I want to be me. I don't want to be out here being somebody else, cosplaying as another motherfucker. Then getting mad when people don't see who the real me is, cause they can't. I ain't showing it to them. You know what I mean? Type shit. So stay in your lane, baby. Do your thing. It's colleaguing that way. We over here doing that. You know what I mean?
when in reality he was a fraud. And eventually this led to a fight.
You ain't gotta know who I am, bro.
Out of here.
Ben Franklin knows who I am.
Out of here.
He knows who the fuck I am. I'm
You
getting
said
money
what?
every day. I said
You
Ben
said-
Franklin knows who the fuck I am, bitch.
Who you calling a
Ben
bitch
Franklin,
though?
I'm calling you a bitch.
Shout out to Output, by the way. I'm a music producer. I use Output a lot. So if you're a music producer, by the way, this is not an Output commercial. They can hire me if you want to give me a bag, Output. But I do use it. So if y'all want to sponsor this channel, this would be very great. A very match made in heaven because I do use y'all. Anyway, if you tell somebody they a bitch, be prepared to fight. Like, I don't know who taught y'all the way of speaking because we not on the internet all the time. Like when you in real life and you start foaming at the mouth like y'all be doing on the internet with your Twitter fingers, I want y'all to understand, not everybody grew up the way you did, where people was like, use your words. Nah, baby. Everybody ain't using their words. A lot of motherfuckers is using their hands, and they use them very well. So I just want y'all to know that, for the sake of people might not be telling y'all this information. If you ever find yourself with somebody telling you that you calling somebody a bitch, I know it's the manly thing to never back down, but if you realize that, you know, this might go in the wrong direction and they give you a chance to, because he's like, who you talking to? What you say? You know what I'm saying? They give you a chance to clear it up. But this is what's going to happen. If you do backtrack, then you're going to be like, yeah, that's what I thought, bitch. So now you kind of have to do it. So I would recommend just not calling grown men bitches in public. Just save yourself a lot of trouble, okay? That's the only fight I ever lost, by the way. I was in high school, called a nigga a bitch. I had stole his shit, so I was all the way in the wrong. I just let myself get put, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't recommend this. That's all I'm saying. Don't do this.
What? Every day. I said
You
Ben
said-
Franklin knows who the fuck I am, bitch.
Who you calling a
Ben
bitch
Franklin,
though?
I'm calling you a bitch.
After this incident, Adam invited both Kelpie and Suspect on separately to talk about it, in which they both defended themselves. Adam said he thought Kelpie asked for it, and Suspect said that it was pretty unprofessional.
For sure, there's no excuse to ever hit a guest on a podcast.
I mean, yeah.
but at the same time, if there was going to be something that you could say verbally, let's be real, when it comes to like street shit or pimps or
Oh, I know
whatever,
what I was doing when I
if
said
you
that.
said it was kind of hard for me to be 100% upset with Suspect just
Yeah.
because I felt like you kind of were provoking it to an
No,
extent.
and I'm the same.
Regardless, I think this whole situation was pretty corny, and it was really entertaining for the viewers to just make fun of everyone involved in the situation. And I think it's best summed up when Kelpie challenged Suspect to a boxing match, to which Suspect declined. And while this one got physical, the next heated moment was really just a bad look for Adam22, and honestly played a major role in the downfall of No Jumper. After starting the No Jumper show in 2019, Adam was accompanied by Camgirl and Housephone. Housephone was a good friend of the show and would regularly interview guests alongside Adam. Eventually, Housephone got his own show and was a pretty regular name on the No Jumper platform. Housephone and Adam22 were pretty close, but eventually they had a falling out. A rift had been forming for a while, and it can be seen way back in 2021 when Adam made a joke about Housephone's mom.
I'm gonna just be completely honest here right now. He beat.
Where do these niggas be getting these names from? That's what I just want to know. I don't try to get off topic too much, but y'all know my brain be working in different ways. House phone. I feel like that you gotta be in the street world, you know what I'm saying? Like some of these names, I get it, but only from a point of where I shouldn't. Y'all wouldn't even know what I mean? Like, it's like there's only certain ways y'all get some of these nicknames. And if I can tell that, and I'm a person, I was in the hood, but I was like away. I didn't want to be involved in none of the hood activities and stuff like that. But I was, you know, I'm a hood adjacent, so I was still aware. If I can know what that might allude to, don't you think the people that you want to avoid might know the same thing? That's all I'm saying.
The shit out of my mom one time and I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes, and he literally almost killed her. My uncle is the one who sent it to him.
Well, now you're gonna have another weird phone call.
I know, right? I know. Actually,
Your uncle gonna be like, you know this guy in a little house phone with no jumper? That's my nephew.
That is your son.
And I ain't seen him since he was 4.
Yeah,
for
and I
real.
beat a bitch up, and it was what it was.
Hey, relax, bro. Hey, not for real.
See? It's sensitive.
Out of pocket, bro.
I want to.
But the big falling out happened in 2023. This is because Adam interviewed a
See, the nigga basically just snitched on him. Yeah, he should have, for all the people that think I'm taking up for him if he beating bitches. If you beating bitches, you need to get down. You know what I'm saying? You need to go on here and vote for Layla Brown. But like, nobody else knew that for real until Adam was like, yeah, that's what I do. I'm this nigga. Like, that's some federal shit. Yeah, I mean, that's some CIA-ish activities. That's all I'm saying.
transgender woman named Gracie Jane. In this podcast, they talked about how she had hooked up with House Phone.
Did I look down upon to expose that somebody may have been with a trans person?
Yeah, absolutely. I sign NDAs and I take them very seriously, so just letting everybody
you didn't
know
get
that.
one I'm guessing?
He didn't fucking pay me. Fuck him.
Seems like I'm worried about people calling me a bad friend for just not editing this and putting it out. They're gonna be mad at me, but I'm just.
He's just gonna be. Well, how about this? Acting like you didn't do some that you did do, and you know you did.
I've been friends with him for like, and I just don't want to be like.
The truth
out,
is the truth.
Apparently, House Phone and Adam had talked before it went live, and he asked Adam to scrap it. But Adam claimed that he told his editor to censor everything about House Phone. However, it wasn't censored too well, and it was pretty easy for fans to piece together who they were talking about. After this, House Phone could be seen on a podcast episode talking about how he felt betrayed by Adam, and said when he called Adam to talk about it, he could hear people laughing in the background. Following that, Adam went on a separate podcast, the No Jumper News, saying he wasn't a bad friend and that he felt like House Phone owed him an apology instead. Fans were very upset with Adam, commenting things like, Adam's not a bad friend, he's not a friend at all. He doesn't respect any of his employees, he's just scared of half of them. Another said, the fact this interview is still up speaks volumes. But it all boiled over when a few weeks later, they got onto a pod together to discuss the situation. They talked for a while and it was a little bit awkward, but then it got really crazy when the situation was brought up.
You're talking about, yeah, he's been going through the mom shit. He's been going through the health shit. You're talking about the person that fucking raised me, that birthed me, my best friend that died. Oh, just he's been going through the mom shit.
But are you actually acting like I have some kind of disrespect for your mom when I fucking
disrespectful as fuck.
I paid for the fucking funeral as soon as it happened just because.
Hold on, it might be a lot of layers that I'm missing to this, but if a dude pay for your mama's funeral, I don't think you should be telling him that he don't care and he didn't give a fuck, or maybe he just sent you. So this is where it comes down to where I be thinking that people be thinking money means more than actually being a good friend. That's why I ain't never really want to get super rich, because I might have been that nigga if I didn't learn what I learned through being poor. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it means more to show up to something than to just send the money for it. Sometimes, I don't know all the situations and things. I'm just saying what I know from my personal experience. Sometimes people do take offense to if you just give them money for stuff and you just, you know what I'm saying, have no regard to how they feel because you sent them the money. You know what I'm saying? People be feeling like the money means so much because they didn't grow up with it and they grew up, you know what I'm saying, needing money. But a lot of people have money and that's not the most important thing to them. You know what I'm saying? Type shit.
At this point, all of the No Jumper fans had turned on Adam and took.
Also, maybe he didn't want nobody to know that Adam paid for his mom's funeral and he just kind of snitched once again, snitching on things that people don't know about to the whole world. That's not a good friend. Y'all be having the worst friends, bro.
House Phone side, because let's be honest, Adam has definitely been a bad friend to House Phone for quite a while. Strangely enough, they actually continued the podcast in a part 2 and seemed alright. Regardless, the entire situation went viral and the No Jumper subreddit actually turned on Adam heavy, which really played a major role in the downfall of No Jumper. Along with that, House Phone also left the platform. Later that year, after leaving No Jumper, House Phone was being asked by people whether or not he slept with Lena, which is Adam's wife. And he made it seem like he did, but tried to take the high road and not get her involved.
She not involved in none of this shit, and that shit is like, I never had no problem with her. I'm never gonna speak no type of weird way around. If it was up to me, nigga, even in the worst time where I could have like tried to flex on Adam or whatever, bro, I would have never said that shit in a million years, bro.
And by this point, everyone just felt like,
see, just say nah. I know some nigga like, well, he didn't say he did. But he kind of alluded to the fact that there may or not have been some hanky-panky, you know what I mean, type shit. So, like, it's like, all you gotta do is say no. We didn't do nothing. Don't say, nah, she ain't involved in this shit. I mean, I could have just flexed on Adam for real. That mean that you did do something with her. What you mean? Like, what you talking about?
House phone was the better and bigger man in this entire situation. This was a major part in the downfall of No Jumper, and this next beef also heavily contributed to that. Remember how I said the No Jumper subreddit turned on Adam? Well, No Jumper has this really interesting fan base where they all just talk bad on everyone involved in No Jumper. It's like a very dedicated group of hate watchers, and honestly, it's pretty funny. And one of Adam's newer hosts that he hired was a guy named Lush. Nobody really liked him, and many treated him as just the butt of the joke out of the entire No Jumper cast. And apparently Lush...
Speaking of hate watchers, I know some of y'all be in the comment section looking at, like, cause y'all love me and y'all support me and y'all like, why he entertain negativity and shit? First of all, I don't really care about that, but I have to say something sometimes because I don't want to build up a fan base of hate watchers. If you a hate watcher, I'm calling you out from day one and you're going to be known on blast. You can still stick around, you know what I'm saying? But it's going to be very obvious if that's what you're doing. And everybody else going to know. Because we're not going to have an army that's just going to be freely running on my motherfucking page talking shit about me all the motherfucking time without getting clapped back at. Now, you can do it. You can keep, I'm just saying, y'all can keep doing what you do. Keep saying all the fucked up shit you want. Talk about my hairline. Talk about everything you want, please. But just know that I'm free to clap back as well. You know what I'm saying? You're free to say whatever you want to say. But I'm free to say what I want to say as well, too. So let's just keep that in mind. And also know that I'm a nerd and I don't take losses very well. So I do a lot of research. I just don't keep that in mind.
Very insecure and would often browse the subreddit on burner accounts defending himself or talking about others.
Lush, we've told him many different times throughout his time here that he's been doing a little too much in terms of communicating with the fans. This is not something that you should be doing, basically, is like, you know, going in the Reddit and like having these sort of like in-depth conversations and stuff. It's like he would like do a podcast, get a reaction live, and then immediately be in the Reddit responding to everybody.
My friend 1111 actually interviewed a
I ain't doing that, nigga. I'm gonna give y'all a little time to marinate, you know what I'm saying? I ain't jumping right into shit to the being nothing. But if I'm like, sometimes I'll be on my phone and I'll see it like I'm scrolling through. Yeah, I got time. And it might be just after you responded. But don't ever think I'm rushing to do nothing. I got a whole bunch of more. That's why it pissed me off. We was in a business thing with some business people, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say too much. But they was like, this should be your only thing that you're doing. And I'm like, no, I got a lot more other shit I'm doing. What the fuck is you talking about? You know what I mean? I ain't too deep in that, but that just reminded me of that.
mod from the subreddit who talked about this.
Lush, he was on there, like, even with burners, he would say that that's not him, but come on, Lush, we know it's you. After he joined No Jumper and then the Reddit, I guess, like, he used it as some sort of fuel. You can tell that he was really the butt of the joke at the time there. Nobody really liked him or respected him, so he really got trolled over there. So he needed, like, people to really talk to and who he thought would get him.
Lush also made his way into a Discord group full of fans. So what caused this beef was Adam had told Lush that he was planning on getting rid of AD, another one of the co-hosts on the podcast and a close friend of Adam's for quite some time. Lush decided to tell everybody in the Discord about this news rather than, you know, being professional and keeping it to himself.
One night he was talking with us and he spilled the beans about Adam wanting to remove AD from one of the shows, since he knew that me and other people from that Discord were also pretty much really involved in the No Jumper Reddit. So he thought that he could trust us, I guess, but he couldn't trust us all.
This, of course, was before Adam had told AD, and it called.
Nigga say he thought he could trust us, but he couldn't trust us all. Damn.
caused a lot of problems. It spread to the Reddit and people were talking about it, and AD very understandably was upset that he found out that he was getting fired from Reddit rather than from his boss. To be fair, Adam hadn't done like too much wrong. I think talking to your other co-host before you think about actually firing him, like I don't think that's the worst thing. And he was claiming that he was about to let AD know what was going on, but he never had the chance because Lush opened his big mouth and told the Discord group.
So I immediately go out to the office. I say, hey, Josh, go get Lush. Lush comes over. I ask him straight up, like, that conversation I had about AD, you tell anyone? And he just immediately just starts denying it, super hard. Yeah, at that moment, it became clear to me, because I talked to some of these mods, that Lush had gone in this Discord group chat and fucking aired out the stuff that I told him in privacy on this Discord chat.
Regardless, this...
So last night he used him. Honestly, nothing better.
Regardless, this...
So y'all know one of my goals here is to help people who are going to be famous, stay famous, and keep your money and all that shit. I do not recommend ever divulging any secrets to anyone for any reason. But like I know it's gonna be hard to say, and you're gonna live your life, and you might be sad because you can't trust nobody for real. You can only tell people at surface level conversations. Hey, if you want to last for a long time, you cannot tell not nobody nothing. Especially if you're doing bad things. Now, if you are a good person, you can have a little more friends and a little more freedom. But if you have anything that you know can get you canceled, people don't like this, or it might be illegal, or whatever the case may be, I don't recommend divulging that to anybody for any reason whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to help you. I'm Big Brother now. All right.
Caused many issues for Adam and AD, but it also led to Lush being confronted by Adam and fired live. And it's really funny if you watch this as Adam comes in and just look at Lush's face and see how guilty he looks.
What we on, Adam?
Lush, you lied to me.
What?
You lied to me, Lush.
About what?
What I just tried to talk to you about in the hall?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
I didn't say nothing.
Well, I got confirmation from a bunch of different people.
Nah, fool.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. And it looks funnier the more you lie. You're what? You sorry?
Nah, like I don't like what I didn't say anything.
No, you said a lot of shit. Like direct quotes of shit that I said only to you because I fucking trusted you. I honestly think, at least for now, maybe we could come to the bottom of this at some point, but it's probably better that you just leave.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Fans were really upset though that Adam fired Lush live on air, and it is super unprofessional. People were saying things like, Adam firing Lush on air is very disgusting. Another said, for an employer to clip this and to monetize the firing of one of his employees has got to be one of the shadiest things a man could possibly do. But I can't lie.
No, there's gotta be some kind of ethical shit. Like, I'm not an ethical professor type of nigga, but I'm pretty sure that goes against some kind of ethics to fire a nigga live, first of all, and then monetize the firing of that nigga. So that's like a humiliation type of. He probably can sue for that. I'm not trying to get into white people business, but I think he might can sue for that. I'm just saying.
It is kind of funny seeing Lush just lie through his teeth and stutter as Adam's trying to confront him about this. Regardless though, later Lush went on to talk about it and he didn't seem too upset, but he did say he thought it caused problems for No Jumper as a whole. Following this, Adam has talked about all of it, but you'll notice that fans just never take his side. Like some of the top comments on a podcast of him talking about the situation are, love how Adam takes zero responsibility still. Adam the prime example of a person who thinks they can do no wrong. Like I said, a lot of people are just hate watching No Jumper at this point. The worst part of the situation though is that AD ended up getting the short end of the stick when he has been very close to Adam for years, similarly to House Phone. Apparently they were two of the only people from No Jumper to be invited to his wedding. So No Jumper had just lost two longtime hosts and friends of the show, as well as Lush. And like I said, these played a major role in the downfall of No Jumper. But at least these stayed pretty peaceful, because this next heated moment actually resulted in a knife getting pulled. This one also involves Almighty Suspect, who, like I mentioned, was quite the hothead in his previous interview. Aside from a few arguments here and there, his first big blow up was the fight with Kelpie. And as time...
Also, speaking of that, since I just came back up, I don't condone beating somebody up because they called you a bitch. I think we should be able to use our words and be able to talk things out like men. Even if those words are thrown around, we should be able to talk people down. You know what I'm saying? But Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, but like it is a bad thing. Don't keep that up. Don't make that a practice to just go off on people just because they said something you don't like. I don't think that's a good thing. Okay, I had to tell y'all that.
Past, he continued to get into these smaller controversies. However, things really started to change after Suspect and Adam got into a pretty heated argument back in 2024 about the Kendrick Drake beef. The argument started over Suspect saying Adam's takes weren't valid because he's not from the culture, and got more heated as Suspect continued to interrupt Adam.
How do you know more hip hop about me? How?
No, but what you're doing right now, acting as if
that's the question.
Why I'm talking? Stop talking while I'm talking. You're arguing now that my opinion. Why are you interrupting so much?
Because I want to know the question. You didn't answer the question.
The discussion quickly changed from saying things about culture to Adam directly saying it's a race and age thing, which got things even more heated. As the podcast goes on, Suspect supports his thoughts by pointing out his upbringing and involvement with battle rap, which Adam eventually makes fun of. And it seems like as Adam can tell Suspect starts to get angry, he just starts rage baiting.
Stop. One mic. One mic. One mic.
What's the name of OG Crit?
One mic.
You get what I'm trying to
one
say?
Mic. One
How
mic.
is the spectator?
One mic.
How is the spectator more knowledgeable about the person who's actually involved in it?
One mic.
You saying you capitalized off hip hop. He's saying he's really in hip hop.
Well, he was hanging out at poetry lounges and shit. Yeah.
You got it. You cool with the disrespect. Go ahead.
Oh, nah. I ain't finna let my man disrespect the poetry lounge. First of all, y'all know I'm a poet as well. I came up as a poet. That's why I started. That's how I started making like music in the first place, because I was writing poetry to help me get good grades that allowed me the freedom to start making music in school for grades. A little fun fact about me. So I've been doing this shit for a long time. So poetry is something I care near and dear for, and I don't always be in the community all the time because I'm trying to do the music thing more often. And like you see, people disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that, but I see what people do. And I'm trying to do my thing so I can help us all elevate. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hiding. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, sliding on the ops. Anyway, you ain't finna disrespect the poetry community around me. That's all I'm saying.
You laughing and shit, but it's cool, bro. You got it.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Suspect's opinion of Adam being outside the culture and not really having that much credibility in his takes isn't that new. Other hosts have expressed similar ideas as well. However, eventually the conversation just shifted away from that entirely and started to be about who has more wealth and who's more famous. Adam even throws some pretty direct disses at Suspect's career as a whole, which eventually led to Suspect walking out.
He's saying,
if anything, what you said, the fact that I've experienced the success that I've experienced in the last 8 years, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Cool.
You've been around for 30 years.
You got it, bro.
What'd it do?
You got it. I'm not even 30, nigga. You got it.
In later podcasts, Suspect reflected on the interaction and doubled down, pretty much saying he didn't regret how he handled the argument at all. This entire incident stirred up the No Jumper Reddit for a bit and made Adam think that commenters wanted him to fire Suspect.
It happened from time to time. I feel like I've seen people trying to run psyops in the Reddit. I feel like just people like really like focused on getting Suspects fired. But there's definitely people who like made it their mission to make me question if Suspect should be around.
And all of this energy and these different confrontations seemed to lead to a breaking point when Brandon, another No Jumper host who had beef with Suspect, appeared on a 4-hour live with each other. From the start, you could tell that there was a little bit of tension throughout the entire podcast. And of course, throughout they argued a little bit here and there, but they were still hitting on their topics, you know, like normal. But then at around the 3-hour and 40-minute mark, their arguing reached a peak when Brandon made the same mistake as Kelpie and called Suspect a bitch.
That gay, he's always bringing up fighting. You can't get a nigga bringing up fighting. Try to put it on another nigga to do something.
So,
but I just caught you one. I just caught you one. Just on that. You are a...
Guys.
Oh.
Guys, come on. Guys, come on. There's no weapons. A Swiss Army knife.
As you could see before the live stream blackout, Suspect hit his classic move of
How you gonna antagonize a nigga and then snitch on him for having a knife? Like I said, it's not okay for him to do this and behave in this way, but it's not okay for you to antagonize a motherfucker and try to get them to behave in that way and then try to be a victim and be like, oh no, how can they do this? You kept telling them to do it. You basically begged them for it. This is one of those you did ask for it type of situations. You know, just because she wearing a skirt and, you know, looking nice, she ain't asking for nothing. You calling a nigga bitch over and over again when he clearly looks like he's unhinged. you asking for that shit, nigga. And that's what we can get in saying shit like that. You know what I mean?
Spitting on Brandon, but then this time he pulled out a knife during the confrontation. Obviously, nobody got stabbed. It's still really crazy to pull out a knife. And Adam agreed that this was the last straw for Suspect and over the line, so shortly after he announced that No Jumper would be firing Suspect.
As of today, Almighty Suspect will no longer be a host on No Jumper. For anyone who's living in a hole in the ground, there was a confrontation last night between Brandon, aka Bucci Bear, aka Dark Brandon, and Almighty Suspect that resulted in both spit flying and a knife being pulled out.
This is actually a pretty recent one and comes after Adam dropping the news that No Jumper is restructuring due to the drop of viewership. And it just goes to show how far No Jumper's fallen, you know, from interviewing people like X and Juice WRLD and Young Thug to having your own host pull knives out on other people. Adam tried to explain that the whole concept of this show is to have a debate style format and shift away from the street talk, but ironically, it went right back to fighting. And while Almighty Suspect isn't really that much of a popular artist, Ruga actually had some motion when he got into his beef with Adam. Ruga is a Chicago drill rapper who is known to be a member of the Gangster Disciples, so pretty on theme for the direction No Jumper has been going for a while. You might remember his 2021 breakout song GD Anthem, which eventually, due to its popularity, he was able to perform live as a surprise guest at Kanye's Donda listening party. As one of Kanye's proteges, Ruga has helped Kanye write a ton of songs, but not too many have been released. However, he was able to feature on Kanye's track OK OK Part 1 and 2 alongside the fellow rappers Lil Yachty and 5Yo Foreign. As part of all this hype, Ruga also got another interview with Adam22, which apparently beforehand, Ruga had insisted that Adam not ask about any of the street stuff.
So now I'm realizing that this is the kind of interview that you're gonna make me do, because you right before I sat down, you're like, don't ask me about any street shit.
I ain't say street shit.
Now you're high as hell.
Relevant shit.
Nigga, you snitching anyway. Even if he did say that, why are you saying that he said that? Because now that alludes to the fact that he is involved in some street shit. Even if he don't talk about the street shit, you still alluded to the fact that he is involved in street shit. He just don't want to talk about it. Hey man, if you come to my podcast overstimulated, baby, I'm gonna tell you, we gonna misdirect the ops so good, they not even gonna understand what nobody talking about no more. Your case gonna get thrown out. I promise you. These niggas trying to get y'all locked up. Nobody don't know what I'm talking about. And I definitely ain't gonna say no explicit ass shit like this for no dumb ass reason. You know what I'm saying? Just come over on to, you know what I'm saying, overstimulated. We got you, man. I don't know what these niggas on.
Like, that's just not just.
Yeah, but the thing you claim that
We
you said,
good though, you know, we ain't.
I'm not saying that you're being a fucking dictator here or anything, but the thing that you brought up was like somebody, a past affiliate of yours, who sort of ran his mouth about you in a recent interview. You don't want to clap back at him?
Clap back? Like what you mean?
Verbally?
Like clap back. My definition of clap back is totally different from yours.
Verbally clap back. Not
what is that gonna get me?
I think that's a pretty fair question, and it makes total sense to not want to have to talk about that stuff. But knowing Adam, that's not going to stop him. Everything was going fine during the interview until Adam asked Ruga about an interview that Lil Durk did with Academics, where Durk dropped Ruga's name in a somewhat disrespectful way. Ruga clearly didn't like this question, but he still explained what went down.
Durk was saying that there was a big show in Chicago that Kanye did. He wanted Durk to come out. You were going to be there too. Durk realized and was like, no, it ain't happening. Making it sound like he was all right with being on the same project as you, but the idea of him being in the same place as you was out of line. Am I getting this right?
Yeah, but it was this the thing. It was like that on both parties.
Okay.
It was like that on my end too.
So when you got the invite, you were automatically thinking like, I don't know.
Nah, I was.
Yeah, man. If y'all want to see the rest of this, once again, like I always do, I'll put the link to the video in the description. Shout out to Matty Boss for making content. If y'all like his content, go like, subscribe over there. Once again, shout out to all my colleagues, what I call my twins and the friends that's locked in. I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Roll to 1K, like, share, and subscribe today. We are on the way, man. Let's get it.